In this video, we will be discussing the Scotchman 4014CM Ironworker. The operators of this machine must be qualified and well trained in the operation of the machine. The operators must be aware of the capacities of the machine, the proper use of hold-down devices, and the guards provided with the machine. Always conduct a visual inspection of the equipment. Ensure all guards are in good working order. If anything looks unusual, do not use the machine. Wear the appropriate personal protective equipment. Safety glasses are required at all times, whether operating, setting up, or observing this machine in operation. Steel-toed shoes will help protect your feet, and leather gloves can help protect your hands. Practice good housekeeping. Keep the area around the machine clean and well lit. Do not obstruct the operator's position by placing anything around the machine that impedes the operator's access to the machine. Never leave this machine running unattended. Always turn the machine off first before you leave. Always operate the flat bar shear and tooling station from the operator's side. This is the side that the electrical control is mounted on. Always operate the punch station facing the station and standing. Never operate any of the work stations from a sitting or kneeling position. A small amount of oil applied to the bar shear blades, angle shear blades, and the punch and die will allow the machine to operate easier and increase the tool life considerably. Located at the base of the machine, we have the foot pedal. This will activate any cutting motion on the machine. Above the foot pedal, we have the control panel. On the control panel, we have the start and stop buttons. This allows us to turn on and turn off the machine. The stop button needs to be pulled out prior to pushing the start button. Also on the control panel, we have our main power disconnect. This will allow us to shut power off to the machine. To the left of the control panel, we have our operation selector switch. This will allow us to select between punching and shearing operations. Toward the middle of the machine, we have the table. This is the location that our material will rest on during a shearing operation. Located directly above the table, we have our hold down and our hold down adjustment knob. This allows us to clamp our material onto the table to hold it securely for a shearing operation. Above our hold down, we have a view window which allows us to see the material to line it up with our shearing blade. Toward the upper portion of the machine, we have an angle shear attachment. This allows us to shear angle iron. On the side of the machine, we have a punch accessory which allows us to punch holes in metal. At the back of the machine, we have an outfeed chute. When a piece of material is sheared off, it will fall into the outfeed chute. At the back of our machine, we have a length stop adjustment. This allows us to cut multiple pieces of metal to the exact same measurement. To adjust our length stop, we first want to measure and mark our material to be cut. Next, we want to secure our material into the machine using the various adjusting screws on our length stop. We can position it in line with our material, and each time we install new material, we can run that material until it touches our length stop and perform our shearing action. Each piece will be cut to the exact same measurement. Measure and mark the material to be cut. The selector arm should be in the shear position. The shear blade should be raised and the hold down should be loosened so you can easily slide your material through the machine. Looking through the view hole in the hold down, identify the location that you are going to cut and the location of the shear blade. Make sure that the material is tight up against the fence. The location at which the table drops off is the location that the shear will come down and cut. This edge where the table drops off is the location that we want to line up our mark with. With everything lined up, we can tighten the hold down. We can pull the stop button and push the start button. This will engage the machine. To activate the cutting motion, we will step on the pedal. As we step on the pedal, the shear bar will move. We can watch that until the cut has been made. Once the cut has been made, release the pedal. After our cut has been made and the shear bar has returned to the resting position, we can stop the machine. The angle shear allows us to cut angle iron very quickly and efficiently. We first need to measure and mark our workpiece. Using in-feed rollers, we can place our material so that it is horizontal with the tool. The angle shear blade has a thickness of about 3/8 of an inch. This means rather than shearing off our material with no waste, we actually lose about 3/8 of an inch each time we make a cut. If we remove our material from the shearing location, we can see that there is a slot that the shear blade will fit down between. That slot will become waste material that gets cut out of our angle iron. If I place my material in the machine and my X is identifying the waste side of my material, or the side that I do not want, I will want to line up my mark with the slot on my side of the machine. The operator will be working from the front of the machine. This is the side with the electrical panel. We also want to make sure there is plenty of material to be supported on the front side of the machine. If cutting a small piece, it would not be smart to feed the material through the entire machine and hold on to a tiny piece on the front. The material orientation requires common sense for what feels safe and what makes sense. If we are cutting a small piece off, it makes sense that we have in-feed rollers with the length of the material being supported by the in-feed roller and the machine. It would also make sense to line up our keep portion on the far side of the machine, the X piece being the piece that we don't want, or the piece that is extra, that it's not part of our project. This way, once the cut is made, this piece will fall off easily. Once our material has been properly lined up, we can turn on the machine. Keep your hands clear of all moving parts. Depress the foot pedal and make the shear stroke.